Now I hope you ate your breakfast because this app tutorial is loaded. Hey guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona, and in this video, I'm giving you a detailed tutorial of the MyStarkey hearing aid app. Hearing aid manufacturer Starkey is very well known for having one of the most feature-rich hearing aid apps on the market. Now this is great if you're a tech-savvy individual, but if you're not, it can be a little confusing, but it doesn't have to be. That's why I'm going to walk you through the basics of the MyStarkey app to help you avoid confusion so you can start getting the most out of your Starkey hearing aids. And I also have a bonus section at the end of this video with hidden features that you cannot find inside of the app. But before I get into this video, guys, do me a huge favor, click the like button, really helps out the channel. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, go ahead and do that as well. It's greatly appreciated. And let me know down in the comment section what you think of the MyStarkey app. Okay, so as of right now, the MyStarkey app is compatible with the Genesis AI, Edge AI, and Omega AI line of devices from Starkey. There are a few features inside of the app that are only available inside of the top tier 24 level of tech. This includes the Gen AI Smart Assistant as well as Telehear AI. And in the top 2 tiers of technology level, which means level 20 and level 24, you also get access to the transcribe feature as well as the multiflex tinnitus pro feature. Now I want to apologize right off the bat here because if you've seen any of my other tutorial videos of these different hearing aid apps, you know that I like to screen record while I'm showing you the app, but the MyStarkey app does not allow for screen recording, so I'm going to have to take some screenshots for you along the way. Now the first step in all of this is to make sure that we get our Starkey hearing aids paired with our smartphone. I'm going to show you the process for doing this using an Apple device and then with an Android device. Okay, so if we're going to be connecting our Starkey hearing aids with the MyStarkey app on an Android device, we first have to download the MyStarkey app. So we're going to go ahead and click on install there. Let it go through its installation process. If you're connected to Wi-Fi, this should only take a few seconds. All right, there we go. We've got the app here. Let's go ahead and click on get started. And we're just going to blow through all this and just accept everything. So skip all this stuff. Searching for my hearing aids. I have to take them out of the charger to put them into pairing mode. After they reboot, they'll be in pairing mode. If you have disposable battery versions of Starkey hearing aids that are compatible with the app here, go ahead and open and close the battery doors. That puts them into pairing mode for a few minutes. All right, there we go. It's identified my hearing aids. So I'm gonna check both of those boxes and click on connect. There we go. I'm gonna pair with the first one. Come on, buddy. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, it's a miracle. We got them connected to my Samsung phone. So, got it. And there we go. We now have our Starkey hearing aids connected with our Android phone. Okay, I'm going to show you how to pair your Starkey hearing aids with an Apple device, whether it's an iPhone or an iPad. It's the same process. First thing we want to do, go into the settings of the phone. We're going to scroll down to accessibility. Click on that. Then we're going to scroll down to where we see hearing devices. Tap on that. It's going to be searching for these. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take them out of the charger. We're going to let them boot up. And as soon as they get booted, it'll take a few seconds here. We're going to see my Omega hearing aids for both right and left pop up here. I'm going to tap on them. You're going to see that we're going to pair the first one, pair the second one. Now they are both paired to my phone. There we go. We can see the volume levels and all of the different preset programs. So we have the hearing aids now paired with the Apple device, but what we have to still do is download the MyStarkey app and connect them with the MyStarkey app. So let's go ahead and go to the App Store, MyStarkey. There we go. I'm going to download the MyStarkey app. All right, there we go. We can go ahead and open the app now. Now it always runs into some issues when I'm screen recording, so I'm just going to turn off my screen record really quick. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to accept everything. We're going to skip that, searching for the hearing aids. And there we go. Just as simple as that. Click on got it. We are now connected with the Apple device. All right, now that we have our Starkey hearing aids connected with our smart device, let me go ahead and show you what you can do inside of the app. Now, the Android version of the app and the Apple version of the app are very similar, but let me go ahead and show you this on my Apple device. Once we open up the MyStarkey app, the home screen is what it comes into. And if you look at the very bottom here, we can see that we have a home button, a health button, a learn button, and a more button. Now I'm going to take you through each one of those different pages, but let me show you everything that you can do on the home screen first. Up in the top left-hand corner, you can see that we have the battery life of these devices. I have 100% battery life in both of my hearing aids right now. In the top right-hand corner, we have the Smart Assistant. Now, if you have the top tier 24 level of technology, this is the Gen AI Smart Assistant. Now, when we go into that, we can basically ask the hearing aid any question that we want to, and I'm actually just going to ask it to increase my volume. And there you can see, it made the volume of my hearing aids actually louder just by asking it to. Now maybe I want to know the weather, so I'm going to tap it again. What's the weather outside in Flagstaff, Arizona? Clear and 51 degrees Fahrenheit. It tells me this inside of my ears. Now, thank you very much, but I'm done with that. All right, moving down in the app here, we can see that we are in the personal program. So this is basically where it says which program you're in. But just to the right of that, we have this little triple dot here. I'm going to tap on that triple dot, and this is where you can personalize your program. So you can make different adjustments to it. You can actually adjust the 3-band equalizer here for bass, mids, and treble. You can also adjust the amount of noise reduction that you have with these hearing aids. Right now we're set to medium, but if I wanted to increase the noise reduction, I could do that. If I'm taking a walk outside, which I'll do later in this tutorial, I will increase the wind reduction to reduce the amount of wind noise that I'm hearing. And then if I end up finding a combination that I like, I can actually go ahead and save that. And that basically saves it inside of the personal program. Now, if I wanted to create my own custom program there, I could go ahead and click on Create Custom. And now I could actually name that program whatever I want to and save it as something else. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to hit Cancel. I've actually already created a couple of different custom programs that I'll show you here in a minute. So right below where you can customize these programs, you see that we have a My Hearing button, a Programs button, and an Edge Mode button. I'm actually going to start off with the Edge Mode Plus button here. So Edge Mode Plus is the AI feature of these hearing aids that actually significantly improves your ability to hear in noisy environments. But you have a couple of options with this. So when you tap on Edge Mode Plus, I'm going to stop talking for a second because it's analyzing my environment. Then I can select whether I want the AI to give me the best sound quality possible, enhance speech as much as possible, or reduce the background noise as much as possible. And whichever one of those I select, that's what the hearing aids are going to do for me. Right now I'm in the best sound setting. Sounds pretty good to me. I'm in a quiet room, so no surprise there, but I'm going to go ahead and click on Save there. And you can see that now I am no longer in my personal program. I am in my Edge Mode Plus program. And if I wanted to rescan my environment, I could just tap on Edge Mode Plus again and then tell it that I want to do something different like reduce noise. And once I do that, I hit Save there. Now my Edge Mode Plus is set up to reduce as much noise in my environment as humanly possible. Now Edge Mode Plus is one of my favorite features inside of Starkey hearing aids, but for right now I don't really need it. So I'm going to go into my Programs button here, and I'm going to select which program I actually want to be in. So the Edge Mode Plus that I just set up was based off of my personal program, but if I wanted to just switch to a different program, something that I have set up as a hearing care professional inside of the app, I could switch over to Personal too. And you can see I could just hear it tell me Personal inside of my ears. I can tell I get more high frequency with this. And I'm actually going to turn down the volume here a little bit. And in this environment, I don't really like the way that this one sounds. So I'm going to click on Programs again, and I'm going to go over to my custom programs because I actually created a custom program for my room here, and I actually called it Custom 1. So I'm going to switch into Custom 1. There we go. I'm in my new program. It just told me Custom 1 inside of my ears, and it sounds really, really good. Now, I can also do a couple other things inside of this program tab here. I can go down to Manage Programs, and inside of Manage Programs, I can click this little eye icon, and that will bring up this personal program. And if I want to add a location, so you can basically geotag a location, so anytime that you go into that location, it switches into this particular program. So I actually have my place here selected on this, and if I wanted to delete this location, I just click on Delete. There we go. We just got rid of it. Now we do not have a location geotag. Enough here. We're going to go ahead and click on the back button. We can also delete the custom programs that we've made. So you may notice that we didn't get the option to delete any of these ones up here, but these custom programs we can delete because those are the programs that you create. So if you go into, let's click on the eye icon there. You see here at the bottom, we can delete this program. So I click on Delete. Yes, we want to delete. Now we no longer have that custom program in there. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead just to make things look clean here. I'm going to go back into the program screen, click on Personal. Okay, so there we go. We are back in the Personal program. And right next to Programs, you see this My Hearing button. So we're going to click on that. And you can see here that it tells me exactly what my percentage of battery life is. So instead of just looking at the battery bars up in the top left-hand corner of the home screen of the app, we can actually see what our percentages are. I'm at 92% left, 92% right. Now, right below the battery percentages, we have the self-check button. This is actually a pretty nifty feature where we can run a self-check on the hearing devices to make sure that mechanically they are functioning the right way. Now, this is not a replacement for a full diagnostic test that you would have inside of your audiologist's office, but it is something that you can run really quickly at home just to make sure that the microphones and receiver are functioning okay. Now, normally I would click on Run Self-Check here, but I don't want to waste your time. I'm just going to go and look at my previous results, and we can see here that the last time I did this, the receiver was okay, the microphone was okay, and the circuit was okay. And just so you know, you run this while these are out of your ears sitting on a table. But my recommendation is that if you run into issues with your hearing aids, this is the first thing that you should actually do with them just to find out what the potential problem is. Now, if any one of these are not green, it indicates which hearing aid and which part of the hearing aid is likely having the malfunction. All right, enough of the self-check feature. Let's go back, and we actually have a Find My Hearing Aid feature. This has to be one of my favorite features, and I'll show you why. Let me put the phone down here for a second. But when you activate this Find My Hearing Aid feature, what happens is that the lights on the back of the hearing aid start flashing like crazy. So if you're looking for your hearing aids and they're in your house somewhere, or you lost them outside, wait till nighttime, but turn out all the lights in the house and see if you can see these flashing lights, and that will indicate to you where they are. You know what, let me just go ahead and turn these lights off here real quick, 1 second. How cool is that? Those flashing lights there. I feel like I'm dancing with glow sticks here. You'd be able to see those things from a mile away. All right, I think that those flashing lights are really kind of fun, so really Christmassy because of the green and red. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get back to the tutorial here. So we are still on the My Hearing screen here, and I'm going to go into My Settings now. Now, inside of My Settings, there's a ton of different things that you can do. So this is kind of what confuses people, is that you have different layers inside of the app to take you to different things. But let me just run through this with you here real quick. All right, so here at the top, you can see about your hearing aid. So I have the Omega AI 24s in my ears right now, which is great. We have the tap control function. Now, I do have the tap control set up. It was something that I set up in the programming software at my office, but you can actually adjust what the taps do. So I have my left ear double tap activating Edge Mode Plus, and a double tap of my right ear will start and stop audio streaming. Now, right below that, you can see that we can adjust the sensitivity of that tap, and I just have it left to default. If you wanted to, you could adjust the tap sensitivity to less sensitive or more sensitive. All right, so back to the settings here. We have our audio streaming options here, and so this is where we can actually set up all of the different audio streaming options that we want to. Right here at the top, we have the option for adjusting the mic volume during streaming, and I have that set to mute because I don't like my microphones active when I'm streaming audio. And then we can adjust different aspects of this too. So if we want a treble boost, a bass boost, or an overall boost in the streaming volume, we can adjust that through here as well. Now, you can do this for other Bluetooth devices, or you can also do it for your broadcast audio, which is your Auracast. Same thing, I don't like my mics being active when I'm streaming audio. And then for the TV streamer sound and other streaming devices, I do not have anything other than the default, but you can increase treble, increase bass, or increase everything overall. This is also where you can toggle on and off your auto start stream. This is something that your hearing care professional can also set up in their programming software, but this makes it to where, like, if you turn on the TV and you have the Edge TV streamer, it will automatically recognize that and start streaming that audio into your Starkey hearing aids. If you do not like that feature, go ahead and toggle this off. All right, back to the My Settings screen here. We have our Smart Assistant mic. So right now, when I activate the Smart Assistant, I like my voice to go in through my phone. I do not like it going into my hearing aid mic. But if you have a preference of switching it to the hearing aid mic so your phone doesn't have to be out and on you, you can do that, and then you can leave your phone in your pocket, and then you can have the AI Smart Assistant speak directly into your hearing aids. Right below the Smart Assistant mic, you have the auto sleep function. So this is where you would actually have the hearing aids go into sleep mode. If you had them out of your ears and sitting down on a flat surface with the receiver pointing up, after I think it's like 10 or 15 minutes or so, they go into sleep mode, so it preserves the battery life. But the battery does still drain. It'll drain at about 15% of your battery every day that you leave them out on sleep mode, and there really is effectively no way for you to completely turn off these hearing aids, either with the push buttons or with the app. You have to put them inside of the charger, but if you forget your charger, sleep mode is an option for you. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle off sleep mode. I don't really like that on myself personally. And then right below that, we have accept, end, and decline call. This is if you want to take phone calls completely hands-free. When a phone call comes in, you simply double tap your ear. When you're done talking to them, you double tap as well. Or you can decline a phone call by pressing and holding one of your push buttons. If you do not want to shut off Bluetooth on your phone, you can shut off the Bluetooth connection to the hearing aids right here at the bottom with offline mode. So if you're someone who does not like having Bluetooth active in your hearing aids, this is where you want to deactivate it. And if you ever want to bring it back online, you have to reboot your hearing aids. All right, enough of the settings here. Let's go back to the home screen. All right, we're working our way through this, but right here below these three options, you have the volume bar. So you can reduce the volume. I can hear that reducing. You can increase the volume. Ooh, that's pretty loud. And then right there in the middle where I have that bar, that is the startup default volume that I have programmed inside of these hearing aids. Now that adjusts both hearing aids at the exact same time. You can hit this little icon down here in the bottom right that will split it into a left and right hearing aid, so now you can adjust them independently. I like to have them combined together, and then down in the left hand corner of the app here, we can see this little wireless button. So if I tap onto that, that shows us where our streaming options are at. So you can see here that I do have a TV streamer available to start streaming from, and I do believe that there's college football on downstairs in my living room right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit play on this. And there we go, I'm getting the audio of my TV from downstairs outside of this room. Now let me see if I can show you something on the screen here. So you can see that I'm actually playing from my streamer here. Down here, it's basically showing me that I'm getting some level of streaming audio, but at the very bottom, you can see that I have it default set to shut off my hearing aid microphone. So when I brush the microphones on the hearing aids, I can tell that there's no sound being picked up there. But if I were to stop the TV streamer by clicking the stop button here, you can see that my hearing aid volume goes back up to default and my streaming volume goes away completely. Now I do have a completely separate review of the Starkey Starlink Edge TV streamer that uses Auracast. So if you want to check that out, I will have it linked in the description for you. All right, now back to this tutorial here. Let's go ahead and get out of the streaming options, and we are done with everything that you can do on this homepage. So let's go ahead and go into the Health tab here at the bottom. So right here at the very top, one thing with Starkey is that you can pretty much track everything. So I'm tracking my steps here. I went for a walk with my wife today, and while we're out walking, I like wearing my Starkey hearing aids so I can get my step count here. You can see that I've been standing for about 6 hours today. A lot of content creation going on this morning, so I haven't spent a whole lot of time standing. You can see I was wearing my hearing aids during working out today. I have about 1 hour and 14 minutes of exercise that it's noted. And then down here at the very bottom, we have our activity, hearing, and wellness section. So if I go into my activity section, this is where you can track your activity. So I'm just gonna go into steps again here, simple to understand. And you can see over the course of the day today where I got my walk in. We walked about 3.5 miles. It took us about 1.5 hours to get our walk in. And I have 7,788 out of 7,000 goal steps that I had for the day. Now you can look at your week, month, and year overall as well, and we can even change our goals. So if I want to have a different goal other than 7,000 steps, let's say I wanted to go to 10,000 steps, I would just click on 10,000 here, or I could even set up my own custom goal. All right, so let's go ahead and get out of here. We're gonna click on done, and then you can basically track all this different type of activity. Your standing, your exercise, walking, running, indoor biking, and aerobics are all options for you here. All right, let's go back into the health page here, and we're gonna go into hearing. So this will basically show you how many hours you've worn your hearing aid. So far, I've worn these for about 5 hours and 15 minutes out of my target 12-hour day. I've had about 3 hours and 5 minutes of social activity, and the sound levels of the environments that I've been in have been safe. All right, done with the hearing report here. I'm gonna go down to the wellness section. So the wellness section is really interesting here. First of all, you can see any fall alerts that you may have had. Fortunately, I've not fallen here recently, so that's good news. We can go back and we can see our respiratory rate. So this is a new feature inside of the Omega hearing aids. I have a respiratory rate of about 12 breaths per minute. I think that that's good. Yep, so an adult in resting position has anywhere between 12 and 16 breaths per minute. Respiratory rates below that is not good. Respiratory rates above 25 is not good. So keep that in mind. If you're outside of those ranges, make sure that you notify a healthcare professional. All right, for balance assessments, this is actually really cool. I actually did a balance assessment previously with the Edge AI hearing aids, and you can run a balance assessment here inside of the app while you're wearing your hearing aids, because the hearing aids have the ability with the motion sensors in there to determine if different aspects of your balance are good or if they're not good. So let's just go ahead and take a look at my previous results. So when I did my assessment on December 29th, 2024, my initial screening was good, my standing exercises were good, my chair stand was not good. I intentionally messed that up just to see if I could get it to mess up, and then my timed walk was good. But this is a great way. We know that individuals who have hearing loss are at higher risk of falling, so having an assessment is a really cool feature inside of a hearing aid. That's not all, because we also now have a balance builder feature inside of here where it can actually take you through different exercises so you can improve your balance now. You've got all these different options of exercises inside of the balance builder. All you got to do is tap on it, calibrate everything, and then go through and do the exercises. And then ideally, once you're done doing those exercises over a period of time, you can go back and take the balance assessment and see if they've been working for you. Of course, I should say always consult with a healthcare professional before doing anything like this. Now, at the very bottom of the wellness page here, you have information about setting up fall alerts as well as doing the balance and stability. So if you want to go through those sections and learn more, you can absolutely do so. For this tutorial, we're not going to do that. So let's go ahead and get back into the health screen. And that is essentially everything that you can do inside of the health aspect of this app. I think Starkey has one of the absolute best health features inside of their hearing aid app. But let's go ahead and get into the Learn section here. So inside of the Learn section, you have a bunch of information if you want to learn more about your hearing aids, and you can set it up as if you're a beginner, if you're new to hearing aids, if you've worn hearing aids for a while, they kind of curate that information for you. So I'm going to just put, I'm new to hearing aids, click on submit, and it's like, great, learn the basics. Then I would just select on whichever thing I'm interested in learning about, and then it walks me through some information about that topic. You can also find your user guide on here, and then there are other popular topics, same type of information that you would find from the curated content up at the top, but you can browse any one of those topics and get more information if you like. All right, that is it for the Learn page here. We're gonna go on to the More page, and in the More page, you have more cool features, go figure. So you got the account information, nothing really cool there. You have your app settings here, so you can actually set up your fall alerts, set up your Hear Share settings, and set up your home location settings. So let me walk you through those here really quick. For the fall alert settings, I actually have my wife Ashley set up to get fall alerts. Sometimes I like to prank her and just pretend that I've fallen with the hearing aids in my ears, and then she gets an alert after 60 seconds. Now I joke about this, but this has literally saved patients' lives before, because if the only way that a loved one gets notified if someone has fallen and can't get up is the hearing aids, then this is a fantastic feature. But you can basically go ahead and add in contacts of people that you know. Don't set it up to send out a notification to Ashley, because she's not going to be able to help you. Once you get them set up, you'll see their name here at the bottom in your contacts, and then you can set up different aspects of the fall alert. So if you want it to auto alert, you can do that. If you want to manually alert people, then you turn that off. I highly recommend you set that to auto alert. And then from a sensitivity standpoint, I find that the default detection does a very good job, so I'm going to leave it there. You can also adjust your countdown timer here. We have the default set to 60 seconds, but you can also switch it to 90 seconds to give you a little bit more time to tell the app that, no, I didn't really fall, so do not send a notification to that person. Of course, you may not realize that the fall detection has actually been triggered, so you can set up alert sounds and alert messages to let you know that the hearing aids think that you've fallen. And you would also see the fall history here down at the bottom, and you can delete that history if you want to. All right, so enough for the fall alert settings. We also have the Hear Share settings. So the difference between fall alert and Hear Share is that when you have someone set up on Hear Share, they can see data that's being tracked on you. So they can see a variety of pieces of information to make sure that you're wearing your hearing aids, that you're being social, so on and so forth, right? And I also have my wife Ashley set up as a caregiver on here. To add a caregiver, all you got to do is click the plus button here and then enter their name and their email. They do have to accept that invitation, both for being a caregiver and for those fall alerts. All right, the last thing here inside of the app settings is your home location settings. This is where you can set up your home location. This is actually mostly beneficial for individuals who are caregivers, so they can keep better track of you, but not a bad idea to go ahead and enter in your address here and save it inside of this section. If you don't want to have it in there, don't put it in there. And if you want to remove your address, just go ahead and click on the remove address button here at the bottom. All right, so enough for the home location setting and enough with these app settings. Let's go ahead and go back to the about and privacy. Nothing crazy inside of here. You can check this out if you want to. Right below that, you have the help center that you can go into. There, again, there's a user guide in there. There is customer support, and then there's common educational topics. These are some things that you could find inside of that learn section as well. We have telehear. So telehear, first and foremost, is the remote programming that you can do with your hearing care professional. They have to actually give you a code and get you set up on their end to generate that code, but then you're able to access that telehear button down here for you to have a remote care session with them. Now, remember what I said, if you have the level 24 technology of the Omega AI hearing aids, you can actually do telehear AI, which will give you recommendations based on the issues that you're having without setting up a remote care session with your hearing care professional. It might not be perfect, but it might be something if their office is closed or they don't have time to do a remote session with you, you could just do telehear AI and get a quick fix for the problem. Okay, so right below that, we have our reminders button. Now I have this set up to where it's reminding me to clean my hearing aids every single week, and you can see those on there. Once I've done the task though, I can mark it as complete and then it will get rid of it. But I have it set to do a recurring reminder every single week so I do not forget to clean my hearing aids every single Sunday, and you should do the same. The way that you would do this is you'd click on create basic reminder here at the bottom. It gives you suggestions of things that you might want to remember to do, like taking medications, making an appointment, clean your hearing aids, or refill a prescription, or you can type in whatever type of reminder that you want to. I'm just going to go ahead and put in, what the hey, take a medication, click on done. Now it's going to ask me to put in any notes that I want to, if there's a specific date or time, if I want it to repeat, and if I want an audible reminder to come into my hearing aids. Let me just go ahead and fill this out here real quick. I'm going to say I want a reminder today. Nope, I'm going to do tomorrow because I'm recording right now. So I'm going to have it be for Sunday, November 9th. I'm going to have it repeat every single Sunday at 7:41 p.m. and get an audible reminder. So I'm going to click on add there, and we can see now that it has the option of taking my medication there inside of the app. So I've got a reminder set for that. Right below reminders, we have our translate feature, which is really cool as long as you have good Wi-Fi connection or really strong cell connection. But if I go into translate, you can see here that we have different languages that we can translate from and to. So I speak English, of course. It can translate into all of these different languages here, which is a ton of languages. Kind of crazy how many different languages there are on there. But let's say that I want it to translate to, I don't know, how about Italian? All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and click on the microphone button and speak English, and we're gonna see how good of a translation it does to Italian. All of my Italian speaking channel subscribers, let me know if it does a good job here. So I'm going to click on the button. I really like this MyStarkey app. This translation feature is really cool. And like I said, all of you Italian speaking channel subscribers, let me know down in the comment section how good of a job the MyStarkey app did at translating my English over to Italian. All right, the very last feature that I'm going to cover with you guys inside of the MyStarkey app is the transcribe feature. So when I open that up and I click on this microphone, it's basically going to transcribe everything that it hears. So you can see here that as I speak, it's going to go ahead and transcribe all of this. If someone else is speaking and I'm struggling to understand what they're saying, it's going to go ahead and transcribe their voice on this as well, so I can actually read along with what they're saying. Really cool feature, can bail you out of some tough spots if you need it. And that's it. That's what you can do with the MyStarkey app. As you can see, it is loaded with a ton of great features. But like I said earlier, there are some bonus features with your Starkey hearing aids that you can access inside of your smart devices, whether you have an Apple device or an Android device. Okay, so when we're talking about an Apple device, remember how when we did the pairing, it took us into the hearing aid section of accessibility? So I'm gonna go back there really quick right now. We go down to accessibility, we go down to hearing devices, tap on that. And you can see we have Clifford's hearing aids, Starkey Omega AI 24, right and left. But right below that, you can see how we could turn off the ringtones if we wanted to. We can turn off system sounds so we don't get bothered by just different notifications coming from our phone. We can set up the audio routing to have call and media audio always going to the hearing aids or never going to the hearing aids, or have it set to automatic where it selects whether it thinks we want it to go to the hearing aids or not. We can also toggle on or off whether we want to control our devices from nearby iOS devices. We can toggle on or off the audio handoff, and we can activate or deactivate the hearing aid compatibility, which just improves audio quality a bit. But that's not all. We can go further. We can tap on Clifford's hearing aids, And here, it basically takes us to where we want to stream audio into the hearing aids or not, whether we want to adjust the hearing aids independently. We can set up our microphone level, so this is our volume level. Right now we have it set at 51 in both of the hearing aids, and then we can actually adjust in our different preset programs here. Right below that, we can start the live listen. That's what turns your phone into like a spy device, where you can set it somewhere, it picks up the voice of the person who's talking, and it streams it directly into your hearing aids. And then here at the very bottom, you can forget your devices. I don't really recommend that you do that unless you're getting rid of one smart device and getting a different smart device to replace it. But that's not all. So let's get out of here. All right, so we're back here on my regular iPhone screen, but if I triple click the button on the side here, 1, 2, 3, that takes us to this screen. Now this screen allows us to do a couple different things with the hearing aids as well. So if I tap on the Clifford's hearing aids, you can see that I also have remote control adjustment here, different presets that I can do, but most importantly here, the mic input. And you can see here that the mic input is actually set to off. This means that when I'm talking on the phone, I get to have the stream of audio go into the hearing aids themselves, but I use my phone to talk into. This is really helpful if you're in a noisy environment. However, if you want to be completely hands-free, you toggle this mic input back over to on. Now you can leave this phone in your pocket. You can even walk away from it for a certain distance, and the hearing aid microphones are picking up your voice to send to the person on the other end of the line. The cool thing about this is that you can toggle this on and off depending on what type of environment you're in and what your preferences are. You can also, as you can see, toggle on live listen there at the bottom just by triple clicking the side of the phone and going into your hearing aids. All right, one other cool feature that you have with an Apple device that you do not have from an Android device is the ability to use an Apple Watch. All right, so you can see that I have my Apple Watch here, and right now I am in my personal program. You can see that indicated here at the top. Now below that, you can see that I have a volume adjustment, and below that, you can see that I have activation of Edge Mode Plus. So if I wanted to switch my programs, what I do is I need to swipe left, and you can see that I have these different programs available to me if I wanted to switch into any of them. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it inside of the personal program here, and I'm gonna swipe back over to the home screen there where you can see it says personal. Now a couple different ways that you can adjust the volume that you see there. So you have the crown that we can actually increase or decrease the volume, but you can also do this on the screen as well by clicking the plus button. See if I can get it there. There we go. Hearing aids are getting pretty loud with me doing that. Let me go ahead and turn that down a little bit. And you can see also that Edge Mode Plus feature is on there. So if I tap on that, I can select best sound, enhance speech, or reduce noise. I'm gonna go ahead and select best speech by clicking that check mark up here on the top corner. There we go. And as you can see, I am now in Edge Mode. So to use the Apple Watch, you do have to have your phone in your vicinity, but you don't actually have to pull it out of your pocket. You can do a few things here right from your wrist, and you can also see your battery life and the time there as well. All right, now that's everything that you can do with the MyStarkey app and with an Apple device, but I also want to show you something that you cannot do with an Apple device, which is access an Auracast broadcast signal. So even though your Starkey hearing aids have the ability to tap into an Auracast signal, Apple devices do not give you that ability for third-party devices. Yes, you can still use Apple devices to access the Auracast broadcast signal from the Starkey TV streamer that you directly connect these up with, but if you want to connect up with anybody else's third-party streaming device that uses Auracast, you have to use an Android device. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that real quick. All right, so the cool feature I want to show you using an Android device that has LE Audio, Bluetooth, and Auracast is your ability to tap into an Auracast broadcast signal using your Starkey hearing aids. So this is not something that you do inside of your MyStarkey app, and this is, again, not something that you can do with an Apple device. It has to be an Android device as of right now. So how we're going to do that is actually go into the settings of my phone. Once I'm in my settings, I go down to connections, and then I tap on my Bluetooth, and then you can see here I have Clifford's hearing aids. Those are my Starkey Omega AI devices that I'm wearing right now. Now if I click into the little gear wheel there, you can see here that I am using LE audio, and down here at the bottom it says listen to Auracast broadcast. Now the cool thing about this is that I can tap into an Auracast broadcast signal with my Starkey hearing aids. We click on this little settings wheel here off to the side, and you can see here that we are using LE audio Bluetooth, and here we have the option to listen to an Auracast broadcast signal. So if I tap on that, it'll show you any available broadcasts, and then you can go ahead and get access to that broadcast audio. That one there is actually my Starkey Edge TV streamer that I have hooked up to my TV downstairs, but it is an available broadcast. So if you're someone who is not directly paired up with my TV streamer, you could access the broadcast of that audio and stream my TV directly into your Starkey hearing aids. Again, something you can only do right now with an Android device that has Auracast capabilities. You cannot use this with Apple.